Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be building a food hall, an Asian food court in San Sequoia. The space includes a Vietnamese food vendor, a vendor from Snowy Escape, and a coffee cart that's in the back. For the aesthetic of this build, I wanted to take advantage of all of the new items we got in Growing Together in terms of build mode, and I was also really inspired by Snowy Escape and City Living for this build. As you can imagine, this build would probably fit into San Myshuno pretty well. If that's something that you'd be interested in for your gameplay, I would definitely recommend. And that reminds me, if you're interested in downloading this build for your gameplay, you can find my EAID in the description box below, and you can download it yourself off of the gallery. In just a second, you'll see me add one of my favorite features and a primary feature of this build, which is the little raised platform performance stage on one side, basically opposite the food court area, which just, I decided to make a lounge build, so I was required to have these items, but I think it came together pretty nicely. And you could probably pretty easily add in a couple more items and create a bar venue if you wanted to instead of the lounge, because lounges do draw an older crowd. You should know that. Elders are more likely to be in lounges, whereas young adults and adults are in bars. So if you didn't know that about your gameplay, there you go. For the aesthetic on the inside of this build, I definitely pulled from a lot of the Japanese-inspired items that were in Snowy Escape, and I definitely wanted to give this contemporary vibe, but still having a lot of flair. You will see when I get to decorating the stage that I went all out in making it a super cozy, boho, eclectic space with like a lot of reds. I just had so much fun cluttering up the stage. Oh, and this is a little bit random, but if you'll notice when you look at the Vietnamese food cart and the Snowy Escape like sushi cart, I actually have some seating at the end of those stalls, and I had no idea, but they slot to the side of the stalls. It's actual seating. I guess City Living came out so long ago that I just do not remember that. Getting back into this build though, I was so frustrated by this bathroom. Bathrooms are the bane of my existence at this game, I swear. I really wanted to make a little cute nursing room, like a family toilet space, and then I got through the build and realized I didn't even build that out, and the space is not meant for infants whatsoever, so the whole thing kind of fell apart. But I do want to create that later on, basically like a breastfeeding room with a changing table and potties and all of that. You know, I've been building in The Sims for a number of years now, and if there's any piece of advice in terms of building that I can give people, it's keep going. Continue to put as much time and detail into the build, because I really do think it makes a difference. Look through debug, look through all of the clutter, find little pieces that bring a community lot, for example, from, looking like kind of a random house to, oh, this is somewhere you would see out in public. Like in this build, I made these sort of false columns by just changing the swatch of paint to be this siding that's from the Growing Together pack. So there's a lot you can do with like a 1x1 or 2x1 tile bump out. Mess around with it, experiment. Maybe you'll find something new that you can work with. And now I'm cluttering up the interior of the space with restaurant kind of decor, just to give it a little bit more of like the food court vibe rather than just a bunch of paintings and stuff everywhere. Overall, I really wanted the space to feel functional and realistic and be functional, while also still having this cozy and warm feel to it, that's sort of intimate, like, ooh, it's kind of like a jazz club or something. Unfortunately, I've been kind of underwhelmed by the gameplay in this lot, so I think I might switch it to being a bar just because there was something about how my Sims populated in and what they did just didn't fit right for me. They went to the bar a bunch, like just completely flocked the bar, weren't sitting in the chairs, the like lounge chairs in front of the stage, and it just felt really off. So I think switching it to the bar venue location thing might actually help me a lot with that. Here I started experimenting with the exterior a little bit. I decided to just use a different color swatch to make those sort of pathway brick type things happening in the sidewalk with the different colors of teal. And I just kind of went to town. I liked these planters from the high school years pack. Originally, I had planned to do seating on the side here where these benches are, kind of more like cafe seating, but it felt like a little squished in the end. This lot is 40 by 20, which is kind of awkward. So instead, I decided to do more of that in the back area, which is actually one of my favorite parts of the entire build, especially at night. I tried to make this a really vibey lot at nighttime because I figured that would be when most people wanted to come here. And sometimes I forget to add lighting to the exterior of my builds, which is a huge problem. And it's a nice way to, prioritize certain things in your build that you might not have thought of because lighting at night is really important. Anyway, the idea of this backyard space with the swings and the little lanterns and like the adults drinking coffee and talking, for some reason it's so like nostalgic and just cozy, and I adore that backyard. I want to recreate something similar for a house. Another unexpected part of this build was the art kind of vibe in the front of the build. I included easels and several murals on the lot so that Sims could kind of customize the space. And I thought that would be nice because then everyone's gameplay could be a little bit more customizable to their interests. And I think the murals are one of the cooler items in the entire game. An excellent addition from City Living. And honestly, I wish that there were more items that the Sims team developed like that. Of course, a friendly reminder, if you are interested in downloading this build for your save, you can get it from the gallery just using my EA ID, which you can find in the description box below. And if you've been watching this long and you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Please tell me what you're doing. Please join me. Please subscribe or like the video or don't, it's all up to you really. But if you would like to see more of this type of content, you'd like to hang out with us, you'd like to get to know me a little bit more as a creator, we'd love to have you. And now I've got some final little fun touches going into the build, including these dumpsters out back, the mural I kind of mentioned earlier, and a few more little clutter pieces for that super cozy stage space. And you can't forget the skylights, obviously. I want to thank you very, very much for watching this video and for subscribing to my channel. To all of the new subscribers, thank you so, so much. It's great having you here, and I'm excited to do more projects for you. And if you want, you can go to the comment section below, tell me what you think of the builds, give me some criticism, some feedback if you want, or just to give a suggestion of what you'd like to see in the future. That's gonna be all from me for now. Stick around to see some final screenshots of the build, and I will see you next time. Bye!